Hello, I'm John Paval here with this week's update on performing arts live streams. There's so much going on. I'm not going to be able to get it all in today if we keep this to about 10 minutes, which is what we like to do. Starting out, very excited to let you know the Sibiu International Theatre Festival in Sibiu, Romania is in full swing all this week, and they're doing multiple live streams, selections from more than 800 shows and events from around the world that they put on. This festival was invented by Romanian actor Constantin Cirat, and I met him personally when I was there as an invited guest a few years ago. It has grown beyond anybody's wildest dreams with so many shows. It rivals the great Avignon and Edinburgh festivals now in terms of the scope of its offerings, the international origins of the participants, and the quality of the shows that they're putting on. I mean, it's a great festival. And the shows are very reasonably priced. For each live stream, there's a charge of 30 Romanian lei, and that's €6 or six US dollars and 50 cents. Or you can get a pass for all the live streams all week long, which is 400 lei, which is €80 or 87 US dollars. I would recommend watching maybe one or two live streams. And let me get to them quickly because one of them is already over. We put out an announcement before them, and one of them is just starting. So you might want to hurry up and go check it out. All right, the first show today was called A Comedy of Operas, and it's performed by an ensemble called the Opera Locos, the crazy opera guys from Spain. It's an ensemble of 5 actors who are telling you a love story set in the world of opera. But what they are singing and dancing to, because there's choreography as well, is a mix of arias and pop songs from Mozart and Mika, Puccini, Rossini, Sinatra, Whitney Houston, Verdi, and more. It's directed by Ilana Elder, and the choreography is Carlos Chamorro. So there's a lot of singing and dancing that'll be going on. I think that's great. Next, starting right now in 2 minutes' time at 6 o'clock European time, at noon Eastern Daylight Time, and 9 a.m. on the West Coast in the U.S., show called The Spanish Route. And in this, a guitarist named De La Vega and cellist Raul Heredia from Barcelona, they take you on a journey through Spain, a particular route through Spain, with a blend of Spanish classical music, tangos, and flamenco music, and including sections from the Aranjuez concert and Albanese's Asturias, if you'd like something more mellow. Then next up, at 8 o'clock Central European Time, at 2 o'clock on the East Coast in the U.S., 11 in the morning on the West Coast, is a one-woman show called Julieta. This was created by Gabriela Munoz, a Mexican-born artist working in Germany, drawing on her experiences working in a nursing home and a relationship with her mother. She creates an alter ego of herself who lives out the challenges of old age in a house that has become nothing more than a home of memories. The show's co-produced by several institutions, the Chameleon Berlin, the Ruhrfestspiel Recklinghausen, and Tohu Montreal, so it must have something going for it. But at the same time, today, at 8 o'clock European time, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, and 11 o'clock on the West Coast in the U.S., is what seems like a spectacular dance show. It's a recreation of Alice in Wonderland, which is a collaboration between director Po ChengTsai's Bee Dance Company and Kathleen McNerney's Tanz Luzerner Theater. And it received the Spirit of the Fringe Award at the Edinburgh Fringe in 2019. So it's, well practiced by now, and they've got it down. The costumes are haute couture. The decor is a labyrinth of mirrors, artistic projections, black and white ink drawings. It just sounds like a rollicking good time, and Alice, unlike any you've maybe seen or experienced before. So those are today's, but there are going to be a number of these live streams coming out of CBU every day. We'll keep you up to date on them. We might do another live stream to talk about an assemblage of them tomorrow, say around noontime or something like that, if you want to tune in. Now, we also have, at the end of the week coming up, the usual sources of productions of opera and symphonies, which I want to take a moment to tell you about as well, and more than that, but I'm not going to be able to include everything, but I'm so happy. because, especially about Sibiu, because my origins are not in the world of music principally, they're in the world of theater, and I'm happy to be able to bring you some theater live streams finally. Looking forward to more of those in the future. Thursday, the 27th of June, Teatro, alla Scala is going to be live streaming a new production, co-production with the Théâtre des Champs-Élysées in Paris, of Jules Massenet's Werther, based on that the novel by Goethe, which got people committing suicide all over Europe back in the 19th century. But that's another issue. Now, in this production, they've got this rising phenomenon, the French tenor Benjamin Bernheim. Now, he has been described by some critics as the greatest tenor voice to appear since Pavarotti. So I haven't heard him yet, but you might want to tune in along with me to find out whether he measures up to that kind of that kind of praise that he's been getting. That's on Thursday, the 27th June at 7:45 p.m. Central European Time, 1:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 10:45 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Forgive me for the mistakes, but I think they come with doing live streams. And since we're promoting live streaming of the performing arts, I try to do these videos live streamed wherever I can. Then Saturday, we have two more live streams coming out. The Paris Opera Play will be live streaming the Opera de Paris production of George Spontini's La Vestale. What you need to know about this production is that it was first dedicated to Napoleon's Josephine. It's a very romantic kind of play. And it was a triumph from its very first performance in Paris in 1807. But it has not been staged by the Paris Opera for 150 years now. So they've dusted it up, come up with an entirely new production. Certainly worth tuning in to see it if you don't know Spontini's work. And it's a long opera. It's got two intermissions in it, so you can sit back and really enjoy your evening on Saturday with La Vestale coming from the Paris Opera. That will cost you. It's the charge to watch Paris Opera Play videos is 14 euros and 90 cents, which is 16 US dollars. So you maybe have to like it a lot. But then again, that's a fraction of what you'd pay to see it in any opera house. And finally on Saturday, also at 8 o'clock, no, not at 8 o'clock, at 7 o'clock on Saturday, which is 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. No, I'm sorry, I've got that time wrong. I have got that time entirely wrong. It's Saturday, it's 8 o'clock for the 8 o'clock European time, and that's 2 o'clock on the East Coast and 11 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast on Saturday. Alan Gilbert, who's the head of the Elbphilharmonie, will be conducting their end of the season finale. It's an all Czech masters program. They start with a section from Smetana's well-known tone poem, Má vlast, but it's not the usual one that orchestras always do, which is the Molda. You know, the thing about the river. No, it's a section called Vyšehrad, which is dedicated to the Prague castle of the same name. So you might want to tune in for that to find out what this is if you haven't listened to the whole Má vlast recently. This is followed by Bohuslav Martino's second violin concerto, played by the star violinist Leonidas Kavakos, which is also worth tuning in to hear. And then after the intermission, Gilbert winds up the season with Dvorak's Ninth Symphony from the New World. And I just have to mention something that comes to mind. You know, Dvorak wrote that Ninth Symphony when he was the head of the the National Conservatory of Music in New York in the 1890s. And apparently he was researching American folk music and all of that, and that's where he got the inspiration. But there's this famous melody in there. Well, many famous melodies, but one of them is the da da dum dee dee dee. Which had words put to it of going home, going home. La, da, dee, da, da. It's very sweet. The thing is, there's a question about whether Dvorak found that actual melody among American folk songs, or whether he created it in response to the folk music he was listening to, and then people afterwards just assumed, well, this is an American folk tune, and put the words to it. We don't know. Anyway, that's not all for this week. Also, coming up on next Sunday, we've got 2 different series of organ recitals which have started up that I want to tell you about. And the Australian Online Concert Hall is also going to be live streaming several concerts, I think 3, and at least 2 of them are worth considering giving a listen to. But I don't want to load this up and have it be too long in case you're in a hurry to go over and watch that 6 o'clock show at the Sibiu the Sibiu International Theatre Festival. Once again, if you're still listening with us and you're not running off to watch that, I'd like to encourage you to join us as followers, especially on our Facebook account, because in order to continue to live stream on Facebook, we need to have enough followers, and Facebook won't let us unless we get more followers. So I'm only able to put up a recording of this video on Facebook. And I want to encourage you to repost these notices if you like them, to help us gather together the enormous global audience for the performing arts that is out there, but it's not necessarily appreciating them or even knowledgeable about their expanding presence online. The more people pay attention and notice it, the more of it we will have, and the better a place the world would be with more and more online, live performing arts at any time of the day coming from all over the world. That's the vision of Access Arts Live. And if you like that vision, follow us on our social media platforms, our various social media platforms, and resend these notices. So, as usual, I can say ciao for now and enjoy these live streams.